In a world where two people refuse to be on the same podcast, one man says, "Get your fucking asses in here and record."
I love how Mike thinks that he's clever and funny.
I know.
It's my least favorite thing about him.
What is going on?
I already dropped my phone.
Oh, way to go. Although it's no big loss, considering the phone you have.
You don't have a phone.
I do.
I don't know what it is that you put to your face.
She has a brick, is what she has.
But you don't have a phone.
I'll find it.
So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Threading and Dreading. And as you've heard, yes, they are finally on the same podcast. To my left, we have...
The Wonder Twins.
The Wonder Twins.
Should we say that at the same time?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, let's
One,
do it.
two, three.
The Wonder Twins!
Yay!
I'm going to say Wonder Twin powers activate.
Yeah,
Form
but
of...
we're not changing into anything right now because earlier the shape of earthiness.
Yes.
Oh, well done.
Form of a racist Paco.
Shape of a white hood.
But how are you doing?
Doing good.
Good.
Doing good.
And how are you, Karen?
I'm alright. I'm pretty good.
Good.
So, if
glad-
anybody has the score or specific details
No.
of the
No.
current
No.
game
No.
in
No.
the
No.
what is it? What's
No.
going on? That
No.
soccer thing that's going on. You should text Karen. I'll give you her number. Hold on one second.
Oh.
It's 8675309.
8675309.
Paul, never again. You're peeking every mic. You haven't had nearly enough White Russians for that.
Oh, no, he's had enough.
That
That's why
sounded
it's so
so
loud.
dirty. You're peeking every mic.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And across from the Wonder Twins, we have...
Oh, 3-star Sapphire.
How you doing, ma'am?
My phone is MIA at the moment, but we'll find it when it buzzes.
Yeah. We'll hear
Whatever.
it buzzing in the seat the whole time, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
Individual personalities are so turn of the century.
Oh, yeah. And next to her, we have...
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, we have a debut. Somebody
Yeah.
should do a drum roll.
No, Lord.
We have a new nickname for the girl next door, which was retired at this point, but it is...
The goddess of gore.
Yes, it is.
Well, I feel like I need to explain.
So go for it.
I
Explain.
feel like you need a new name.
You need a new name.
I have two names
You need another one.
and a new legal name that I haven't even transitioned properly.
Anyway, you are the goddess of gore.
Okay. Well, because
You have a god complex?
no. I really like horror movies, so that's the gore.
Right.
Right, yeah, we got that.
And shut up. No. And I really, well, we were thinking of God of War, the game, and I really like that game, so we just made Goddess of Gore.
Wow, I'm gonna...
Yeah, and she's, just for short, she is the goddess.
Yeah. We'll just call her the goddess occasionally. I like
So
that.
I'm just going to aim for you being Athena at the end of the second game and call it a night.
Oh, wow.
For those of you who don't know, that bitch dies.
Uh-huh. Well, it's God of War. I think everyone dies, don't they?
Eventually.
Yeah.
Sorry,
say, Kratos
spoilers, everyone dies.
Kratos doesn't necessarily die. I'm not really sure where he went. He
does,
He was
but he
bleeding. He
crawls
kind of
out.
dragged away somewhere. He did that whole Insidious final sequence thing that I often compare to God of War 3, where he goes into like the shadow realm of the dead.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck is going on? I could only walk straight. Like, this didn't need to be a playable sequence. You could have just given this to me as a cinematic.
Yeah.
Oh,
swear
God.
I
He
would
unlocked
do
the Phantom Zone.
Some creepy lady, like, do you want to take a picture?
How's everybody doing tonight?
Hold on a second. So I want to play off that. You guys don't watch, or do you watch, Avatar: The Legend of Korra?
No. I
Okay.
saw a couple episodes
stop
of the first
talking,
season.
nobody
Okay,
cares.
sorry.
So they just premiered. So Steve and I love that show. I've always loved the series. And I said to Steve on Friday, I was like, so I need to find out when the third season premieres. He gave me one of his Steve faces. He's like, you mean tonight? And I was like, I'd be in awe if it were premiered tonight. So that night we watched it. And there's a new waterbender. So waterbenders that we've known have all like needed their arms to waterbend because it's all a very fluid motion and that's how you
Right.
like guide the water and everything.
Right.
So there's a new waterbender who's an assassin who doesn't have arms. And
Okay.
the water that she controls, she kind of hangs it off of her shoulders as like tentacles, but on the tips of it, she has frozen the water. So she fights like Kratos.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty cool. Because I kept saying, I was like, you could totally fucking fight like that. Like, as long as you just, like, held tight to the ice, because they can control the ice that's connected. I was like, as long as you
Right.
didn't let go and they hit somebody that you didn't mean to hit, that'd be fucking cool. And now there's this armless wonder who can fucking do that. And I was like, Steve, I don't know how I feel about that. And he was like, no, when you're missing an appendage, you make up for it with other things. And I was like, that bitch should be bending with her feet. But
You know, complete
Whatevs.
non sequitur, but there was a great Robot Chicken sketch about that where it's Hal Jordan fighting Sinestro, and Sinestro cuts off his hands. And so he goes back to Owen, like, we're sorry, Hal Jordan, but you have to leave the Green Lantern Corps. You kind of need fingers. It's kind of a prerequisite to
now
have a
you
ring,
could get a Green Lantern cock ring.
which is what they do.
Yeah!
And he's like, there is somewhere else we could put the ring. He's like, what, like a necklace? It wouldn't interface right. He's like, no, there's somewhere else you could put it. He's like, your ear? He's like, no. He's like, are we talking about a cock ring? Yes, we're talking about a cock ring. So he goes out and arrests Sinestro, and there's just this big green beam coming out of his cock. And the Flash shows up. He's like, why didn't you just wear it on your toe? He's like, how's a toe ring going to fit on my dick?
Thinking like you could do like a nipple ring and nose ring. Nose ring would be kind of cool because you could like manifest a cool mask with like fucking horns or something.
Yeah. That was a pretty good skit.
The Red Lantern. I wouldn't. A Red Lantern cock ring wouldn't work because those things are fucking.
Oh,
hot.
God. Oh, no.
So it would like burn my dick,
Oh.
and nobody would ever want to sleep with me. They'd be like, "No, the last time I did that, you burned my butthole."
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry. I lubed with aloe. I don't know what else I can do.
You've left Karen speechless over there.
That's a valid point.
She knows. She's my better half. Sometimes.
Oh, man. But I did want to raise one quick point for everyone who's listening. Again, for those new viewers on Podomatic as well as on YouTube. The next podcast you hear is going to be the 1-year anniversary of Threading and Dreading. Holy hell, where has the time gone? But I wanted to let you guys know that because we're actually going to be taking questions for the next episode, and we're going to try to have everyone on who's been on Threading and Dreading before. I mean, all of the main crew, I should say.
I have a question.
Shoot.
For everyone who's not Mike, do you guys actually think that people listen to us? Because he swears that they do, and now he thinks they're going to have questions, and they actually want to know shit. They know I'm gay. They know that you're hair color. Whatever. Like,
They know I'm a redhead,
yeah.
and yet I have no red in my hair.
Yeah.
But I'm a closet ginger.
So, I mean, they know everything.
Not questions about us, just questions in general about film industry, about
What about
comics.
philosophy? I don't give
Mike,
a shit
how
about
do you
their
poison
philosophy.
somebody?
Okay,
Right?
What if they give you Marvel questions? Is that okay?
Ultra skin.
Of course it's okay, but they can just call me.
Okay. Well, we're not going to give out your number on the podcast.
But what if they're really sexy bears?
Then you
God.
need to message Mike personally and
You
tell him
need to
I
set
am
up
a
your own
sexy
YouTube
bear.
account and let them go to your YouTube account and they can find you on there. Because you know what?
YouTube wouldn't let
Karen
me
has
have-
already done that. Karen already has the Fangirl Extraordinaire set up. So why don't you just set up the Superhuman Aficionado channel and they can go find you?
I'm entirely too lazy for that. And people only go and watch Karen because they have Asian fantasies.
Wow. And the rage begins.
People like the yellow women.
Oh, dude!
I'm giving her a compliment. I'll tell you what. I love Asian women. And my mom is straight and she loves Asian women. And this one time I was at Comic-Con and we was leaving and there was a cat woman and she was an Asian woman. And I was like, what's up, yellow pussy?
Simmer, Karen. Drink.
Just
Have a drink.
drink.
I'm also the only person who can say these things around Karen and not die immediately.
That's pretty much true. That is pretty much true.
One day she's just going to blow up and say, like, the most inappropriate things to me, and I'm going to be so proud and horrified. I'm going to be like, did you hear what she said? Oh, my God. I'm touched.
Good Lord.
Kiss with the fist is better than none. No, yeah, questions. All about it.
Yeah, sure. So, again, anything you guys want to ask us, we'll take as many as you want. Submit them on Podomatic or on YouTube, or just shoot us a message on one of those sites. Whatever you want to do. Comments, messages, we'll take everything.
Yeah, and Mike was, we just had the Delaware Comic-Con.
Yes.
Which is
First State Comic-Con.
First State Comic-Con, which is about the size of Mike's living room. It costs $3.
So you can't beat that.
Unless you were in
cosplay. Right.
Oh, really? Was it free if you were in cosplay?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was... Yeah, I mean, I wasn't in cosplay, but I was totally playing that I was, like, doing the Walk of Shame because I was in stained lounge pants and a dirty tee. And my breath smelled like bagels and coffee. But, no, Mike had said that next year he wants to, like, get a table so that
Yes.
people can come and see us or shit.
Right.
I don't really know that there's going to be room for that because of all the shit they already have that
Right.
people ignore.
It would have to be a bigger venue. Because right now, they've basically they have, like, people there who are going to be back next year. It's
Yeah.
pretty much set. So if we're going to get a table, either they're going to have to get a bigger venue or someone's going to have to back out. And I already discussed this with the guy who headed up the con. But if that happens, we'll have a booth, we'll have it set up, and we'll do a live broadcast from there.
Like
and
for the whole time?
No. We'll broadcast for about maybe an hour and a half, and then we'll stop, and then we'll mingle with people who are there, and then we'll maybe
sign autographs.
Yeah, autographs.
Oh, yeah.
No, but
Answer any
maybe after
personal
that, if
questions.
Ben is in town, we'll record 2 podcasts. We'll also record all of our hate while we're there, and then so we'll have time to do both. And
Do you know who needs a new avatar?
who's that? Kim. Yes, she
Our-
does.
Oh, it should look like-
I
goddess.
never got an avatar.
Right.
That's because you're
Same
a
with
woman.
Karen.
Yeah, I don't have one either.
Oh.
It's supposed to mean that you didn't make us dinner and bring it to us, so you're probably going to get
I'm
beaten.
gonna punch you
when
in the
we leave.
face.
But no,
Love you.
what we will likely cosplay as our avatars, whichever they may be at the time.
Or not.
Or Alison's. Well, no, Alison will be the new 52 Star Sapphire, which is a bit
Yeah.
more covered. We'll
No,
just say that.
I
Yeah.
think she should be the new 52 Star Sapphire. Firestar.
Firestar.
God.
You mean
Little-
Starfire?
Whatever.
Does she like have a pasty on?
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She basically has 2 sensor bars over her nipples.
Yeah.
The new 52 Starfire is really an atrocity. She's like,
I love the outfit. It's a beautiful like design. It's really different. But she a hoe and she
Oh.
naked.
yeah, she her whole thing is I don't care about sex. Sex is just a thing, so I'm going to sleep with every guy I see. It's basically just fan service to anyone
She's
reading.
a sapphire whore. Or I mean, what's her name?
Starfire.
Starfire whore.
Well,
I mean, that's what I
wouldn't.
do.
I wouldn't call her a
Well, did.
whore. She just thinks that sex is so casual that any man you meet just have sex with them.
It is.
All right.
But yeah,
Straight people and my boyfriend have this very different idea of sex. Sex is just a thing that you do. It's like watching a movie. It's just an act. It's a primal act.
well, and I agree with that. Except that this isn't done for character development. This is done for the fact of
I'm
hey,
not developing my
fan
character when I
service.
sleep with random dudes.
No, it's just an excuse to get her naked in the comics. It's as simple as that.
It's just an excuse to get me naked. In reality. And them naked. Have you seen my Facebook page?
It's full of naked bears.
It's full of naked bears.
Not so much recently because you discovered Tumblr.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of naked bears lately.
No.
I found Tumblr where they're actually naked.
Okay.
And it's funny, my I hung out with my friend last week, and he put it very simply, because when you repost it, like you reblog or whatever, it shows up on your own wall. And he's like, I reblog it, and then it's like my own porn channel of exactly what I want to see. And I was like, you get me. I'm just like, I don't want to see you guys. You know what I want to see? Go to my page.
Real nice. But anyway, does anyone want to discuss some news before we actually get into the stuff we want to chat about?
I got my Disney news.
Disney news.
Oh, yeah.
What do you have as far
Alison
as...
works for Disney now.
No.
No, wait.
No.
So I actually read my magazine,
No.
and I double checked. All right, it's on a Disney page and stuff. They're doing a movie. It's slated for 2015. That Disney's gonna make a movie called like The Descendants or something like that.
Okay.
Something like that, and it's gonna be basically like all the princesses and villains of those princesses. They're gonna have like kids. So like, there's gonna be
Huh.
Jafar's kid, Maleficent's kid.
Hold on, wait.
the
That's really
Queen's kid.
inspecific because Angelina Jolie's got like 9 kids.
Not that Molestin.
My bad.
And then, oh god, and Cruella DeVille, and then you're gonna have like the good guys' kids.
Somebody
so,
fucked her?
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was like, what?
I mean, I could see Maleficent because that bitch a dragon. She says, "Get in me." You don't really say no.
I'm gonna burn you to death.
I like that.
And then they had like, I think they were also slated to have a kid by Aurora, a kid by Cinderella, a kid by Snow White, and
Narcoleptic child, a kid who can't
a
tell
kid
time.
by Belle, and there might have been a kid by the fairy godmother as well. But it's slated to be like a movie, and I was like, okay. They have like some prelim pictures.
So
and
it's
I was
basically going to be the kids of Kingdom Hearts. It's going to be all one
Yeah.
big universe that they're just going to throw in there to say, okay, they all belong to the same world, just throw them together.
But like, are they gonna
think
have the
so.
kid for Ariel because she had her own movie?
Yeah.
They do have the dolls, Ever After High dolls, that are like the same thing.
Really?
Yeah, because my niece has them. There's
Except those are not Disney.
but they
Yeah.
probably aren't sanctioned by Disney. But like I know there's like the Mad Hatter's daughter.
Yo, he probably
forget.
is awesome in bed.
I forget who
Fucked
else
up.
there is, but I know because I've gotten her one or two of these dolls, and it's like the same. But it's just interesting that they're making a movie.
So it's slated to come out next year.
Okay.
So
Well,
there'll probably be start to see things about it. It looked like from because I found it online too, and they had a couple shots of them, and they had like a whole article about it.
okay. Now,
So-
on that same line, we weren't going to talk about this, but Disney is also doing Into the Woods. Have you heard this?
Into the Woods?
Do you know what Into the Woods is?
No.
Into
Okay.
the Woods is a fantasy play where
Right.
there's more than one naked character that Disney will probably change because
Mhm.
they can't do naked characters.
Right. But Into the Woods was kind of like the first cross-universe attempt, where it's all these different stories, and the first act ends in a happily ever after. And then Act 2 is what happens after the ever after. And it's intriguing. It was the first attempt at saying, you know, what are these realms like after they're no longer really happy? They're no longer the happy ending, you know? So, and Kim is showing Allison what the dolls look like.
Which we're not allowed to do because they're probably copyright protected.
Right? Which, by the way, those dolls look also, there's another series called, like, Monster High.
Yeah.
Which is, like, I don't want to hate because it's getting girls and kids into these classic monsters. But at the same time, it's like you're turning them into Bratz dolls.
Yeah.
You
They are
know?
Bratz
And I'm
dolls.
like, oh my God. You know, I don't want to condone this. Do you know what Bratz dolls are?
I do.
I have a general idea, yes.
Okay. They're like the worst stereotypes for young girls ever.
Wasn't
They-
there a Bratz movie?
There
Yes.
was.
And it is
And
considered
a TV show, and oh god.
No, but no. The Bratz film is considered one of the worst films of all time
Wasn't
because
it like super racist?
yes, it's extremely racist.
Really?
Because every
Yeah.
I wanna
girl
watch
is a different race, or at least a different ethnicity, and all of their families are like the worst stereotypes of that ethnicity.
That's awesome.
Like the Hispanic girl comes downstairs, and there's just a random mariachi band playing in her kitchen.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And there's an Asian one, and her parents are overprotective, telling her that she has to do all this extra credit, that she has to get straight A's.
And all they eat is rice? And they sacrifice their dog downstairs so they can eat it with their food? She's going to kill me. I know she is.
She doesn't eat dog.
No, actually, that was the thing that Mike shared on Facebook today that was like...
Oh,
yeah.
21 things that Asians are tired of answering.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I just didn't have time to read it.
that list was me. And I will admit,
couple
in
were
high
pretty
school,
funny.
I asked a couple of those questions. I
Sure.
apologize. I didn't know any better.
He still does it. I know better.
What?
I'm just an asshole.
And that's okay. As long as you're a self-proclaimed asshole, I think that's fine.
Real nice.
Like, what did Ben said something today about, oh, he was doing one of his, like, little clever moments. He was, like, puts on sunglasses. I was like, dude, your eye's barely open. Why do you need sunglasses?
Oh, my God.
And then he was like, to hide myself from the glare of light reflecting off all you pasty white people. And I was like, stop hanging around Mike.
Oh, but
I thought it was fat and pink.
Well, yeah.
Anyway,
With the BuzzFeed thing, actually,
Right.
they also had a video which was, what if Asian people said what white people said or something like that?
right, I've seen that before.
That one's also really
That is
good.
hilarious.
That one's really good.
We don't have stereotypes.
No.
No, like, if they reverse the questions.
It was
kinda
like the Asian person going to the white person, like, "Oh, where are you from?" Like,
Yeah, or like-
Montana. No,
yeah.
where are you from?
Where are you really from?
I'm from Germany and Russia.
Or like when they have a fork or something, I don't know how to use this. I don't understand. Like,
Right.
please
Well,
explain to
actually,
me
I
how to
mean-
use a fork.
And really, like, I am being legit. So in China, they use chopsticks. They also use forks and spoons. Well, spoons I know because they're soups.
Mm-hmm.
But I know it's disrespectful to stab something with chopsticks. Correct?
I believe that depends on the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you normally just wouldn't because,
Right.
like, but sometimes,
You
I mean,
don't
if you're
need to 'cause
kids
you're
and you
that
don't know
good.
how to use chopsticks, sometimes you do because
Okay.
it's like, and, well, because I didn't know, because Robin actually told me with his family, if you put 2 chopsticks, if you just, like, put it
Yeah,
into the rice
I heard
like
about that.
that's, like, it's
Death
kind
to
of
the
like,
chef.
or just death in general, because like the shrines kind of have like incense just sticking out of it, so that like symbolizes or kind of looks like that. But I had never heard that before. Like, to me, like with my family, I never really got into that or anything. So to me it didn't mean anything necessarily, but
Right.
and yeah, so it really is dependent on, you know, the family and the culture and where you're from and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
And I mean, what we view as basic utensils are used worldwide, are they not?
what? Sorry.
Forks and such are used worldwide, are they
Well,
not?
not necessarily.
necessarily.
I think spoons worldwide.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there are some places which, well, yeah, I guess spoons.
Spoons are like
yeah.
worldwide.
Everybody
because
has soup.
Everybody
Yeah.
has soup or soup-like things that they
or, like,
need, that they have
sauces or-
liquid.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or it's cereal of some sort.
Because I mean,
Probably.
some places they
Yeah.
don't use utensils at all, and just hands, right?
Right.
Like,
Well, even
And then your hand is the spoon.
yeah. like,
Right, so
like,
they use spoons.
Morocco, they use a lot of finger foods,
Right.
but they use spoons for like couscous because it's more liquidy.
Right.
But that's the only, like when
I think they're making their couscous wrong.
I know in some places where like you simply like you just use hands, like even for rice and things like that. Like you just kind of
Right.
use your hands.
I wouldn't
to
move
eat.
there.
But
Where?
Wherever. I can just use
That
That
my
actually
hands.
reminds me. At some point, we need to get back to Casablanca's because.
you can't go to the one in Newcastle.
Why is that?
It's closed.
It's closed.
It's
It
been closed for
closed?
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had
When
a
did
big,
that happen?
they had a
Even I
big
knew that.
fire. and
Yeah, that
so
shit
it's been
could- I knew
3-4
about that. I never
years.
even eaten
It's
that.
been like
I-
3-4
I- I-
years.
Damn.
I just moved
yeah.
here. I knew that.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
oblivious.
yeah. You
Karen's
had
one
to
who
go-
lit it on
Next, you're
fire.
gonna tell me Kahunaville is closed. God.
No, that's still
Oh
up
wait,
in...
that's the
What's
children's
that?
museum.
Right.
Yeah, it's a children's museum now, of all things. Anyway.
It's kind of funny.
And then like the red room is now like some church or something.
Right.
Really?
right, Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was like, really?
God, how blasphemous can you be?
Yeah.
They're purging the sin.
Yeah.
Too much sin to
Yeah, but if
purge.
you want Casablanca, you got to go all the way up to Philly.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Interesting.
their sister
What kind
restaurant.
of what kind of food do they serve in Casablanca?
It's Moroccan,
Moroccan.
food.
Moroccan.
It was
so I was
nice.
gonna say
It's like a 7-course meal for $25.
there's an Indian restaurant my friends keep trying to get me to go to that I haven't been to yet called Shri Punjab.
Never been there.
It's yeah, no shit. Shut the fuck up. Let me tell you where it's at. Now 202 and 1. So for those people who live in Delaware who listen to us, 202 Concord Pike and Route 1 where they intersect in a PA.
Right.
You make a right heading towards Media. It's in like a
Oh,
shopping
okay.
center
That's
on
not
your
far
right.
up there.
With the P.F. Chang's?
Yeah,
It's
P.F.
not with
Chang's,
the P.F.
that's
Chang's.
it.
And P.F. Chang's is garbage. Every time I've eaten
I
at
was
P.F.
okay.
Chang's, I paid way too much way too much money for food that didn't taste like anything.
Yeah,
He pulled a mic
that's
right
problem.
there. Anyway, let's get
When
into
I-
a little bit of movie news.
I love Asian foods, okay? I love them. That's
They're
why I have
tasty.
so many Asian friends, okay? Because I love rice and dog teriyaki.
We're gonna move on to the movie news.
No, really, though, their food doesn't taste like anything, and I do love Chinese food. So
Before Karen breaks her bottle of Angry Orchard over Paul's head.
she would never waste her liquor on my head.
It would be empty first.
It would be empty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the first
She's
bit of
an
movie
alcoholic.
Hi.
Alcoholics are quitters. I mean, those who go to alcohol.
AA is for
AA
quitters.
is
There you
quitters.
go.
I'm sorry, she's a drunk. Alcoholics go to meetings.
Yes.
Right.
There you go. So moving on to a little bit of movie news. The first bit is a little bit topical because the movie's out right now. It has to deal with Transformers 4, which I know none of us have seen.
Nope.
Except for our buddy Steve, which, Steve, why? But,
Because the rest of us have self-respect.
right.
I gave
But-
up at the last one.
Here's the little bit of controversy about it. So the numbers came in from the box office over the weekend. And
Didn't it make, like, super bank?
it was reported by the studio, Paramount, that it made $100 million its opening weekend, which is good. That's very good for an opening. If you can crack 100 million, you're considered a blockbuster, the pinnacle of film. However, it's being reported that they probably didn't make that 100 million. In fact, they're trying to fudge the numbers to make it look like they made a lot more than they did.
How do you fudge numbers?
And why?
Because they're overestimating the theater intake. Right? They don't know exact numbers until about 2 or 3 weeks from now. Everything is estimated until basically they have to report it to the government.
It's going to be like, we estimate we made $100 million. You guys made $75.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, we let a lot of people in free.
Now, there's reasons for this. Most notably being that the studio wants to make it appear that everything they've done was right. But also, compare it to something else, let's say a Minority Report, which came out in 2002. There was a controversy with that where the movie was actually not a flop, but it didn't do nearly as well as they thought. But they had spent so much on the film that they didn't want to make it look like it was such a flop. Now, there's only so many numbers you can fudge, but they basically blew up the box office numbers to make it appear that it was the number one movie that weekend. Because some studios like to advertise that it was the number one movie the past weekend, like that's a way to judge a film. You always see the commercials. The number one movie in America. Who gives a shit?
This means a lot of people thought it was
Go
going to be
in
good.
to see it if they think it's doing well. Oh, it must be pretty good. Let me.
Yeah, I know, but
watch
that's
it.
terrible logic, you know?
I'm
I'm just saying. That's
Oh,
what
I
people
know.
will
Oh, I know,
think.
and I get that. I just absolutely don't agree with that. You know, everyone could be seeing fucking The Last Airbender, but we know that's bullshit. You know,
I'm less interested in the opening weekend numbers than when you tell me, like, here's what it made the opening weekend and then total. Like, that comparison number is what
Right.
I really care about.
Right.
I mean, yeah, they want to make money, so they definitely, and the opening weekend is the big hit for them.
Right.
But I'm going to see a movie if I don't know anything about it and I'm basing it on what other people are going to tell me. I'm going to base it on the money it's made after the fact because those are the people that have gone to see it again or have heard something about it and gone to see it.
right? Absolutely. So right now, Paramount is saying that it made $100,038,000, which is just over the $100 million mark.
Right. Yeah, we got that.
Now,
Thanks.
the other people, which it would be, let's see, they don't have the actual source, but it's two other movie execs, one within Paramount and also another one from Deadline.com, are saying that it actually made about 5 or 6 million less than that. Now, why would they want to overestimate it that much? Apparently, Paramount said to its employees, the people who worked on this film, if it makes them less than 100,000, we're going to have massive layoffs. Which is fucking terrible of Paramount. Like, why would you lay off your employees because people don't want to see your film? That's not their fault. They're just doing their job. It's your damn fault for not making a good movie or not marketing it right, you know?
Or employing Michael Bay.
Yeah, or employing Michael Bay.
Or making a fourth Transformer movie. In general.
Right.
With a fat transformer and one that smokes cigars.
Right.
Except that I like fat dudes who smoke cigars, so I might see it just for that.
Yeah.
There's also a really racist one, I heard.
Yes, there is a...
Oh, another one?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's not the Ghetto Bots, but
I like
Not
it's...
the Ghetto Bots?
It's a Autobot...
the-
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say, it's an Autobot called Drift, who is an Asian-inspired Autobot who is dressed like a samurai and speaks in an extremely thick Asian accent.
Is that
I
the
like
one
how
that
we
turns
use the
into a
word
diner?
Asian because it's like, what do you even mean?
Right. I mean, because it's not even one culture. It's just like an amalgam of cultures.
It makes me so sad and angry.
I know. You can't even have it represent Japanese culture or,
Right.
Vietnamese culture or Chinese culture. It's just throw every amalgam of every Asian culture together and throw it out there. Now, to be fair, Drift did exist in the original cartoon.
That doesn't mean that times haven't changed and then you could actually make revisions and make things
right.
better.
But
It probably wasn't such a ling then, though.
exactly. It probably wasn't Well, it probably wasn't such a caricature in the cartoon. It was
really
probably a
is just how
legitimate
I
good
talk.
character.
I know. That's why you're not getting hit right now. As I'm saying, if it was anybody else,
I just spoke
if
like
it
I
were-
wasn't even trying to be an ass.
I know.
and she's
If it
like,
were
sounds like
anybody
shit.
else, that's like, yeah,
Anyway,
that's why he's just getting dirty looks.
Maybe this is why we haven't joined them together in one podcast.
Now, do you guys remember back in the day when I had like way too many relationships going on at one time? So
I
We went-
thought that was right now too. Still.
I have one relationship.
Okay.
So we all went bowling, and Karen came up and hugged me from behind. And people know that I hate bubbly people, and I hate people in general. And my friend Michael said, "Oh my God, that little girl's gonna die." And I turned around and I was like jumping up and down with her because that's what Karen and I do. And he was like, "The universe as I know it no longer makes sense."
Yeah, there's just this effect when when we're with each other that I think our nasty side is just mellowed out.
And like the night when we were playing, when we had the game night at Robbins, and it was girls and gay against guys, and we whooped the shit out of you because Karen and I were just on a mind meld, and she just looked at me, and I was like, "Jack Harkness."
well, it's not a mind meld. You're just the
I
same
know.
person.
Yeah.
She was like, "Nobody else is gonna get this. Paul, I did this for you. Torchwood? No. Jack Harkness? Yes." and the guys were like, "What the fuck? Did they plan?"
Real nice. Well, anyway, moving on from that, another bit of news.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Based on that news, and it could be the next thing you're going to say, and I hope it's a hoax, but so for those of you who don't know, Lionsgate has greenlit
Oh,
a
yes.
PG-13 Power Ranger movie
Right now,
based on
again,
the original Power Rangers.
and I was going to bring this
Like
up.
the
and-
original.
The original. Now they probably won't get those actors,
Right.
but
Yeah, but they'd be too old right now.
right.
well, yeah, but JDF is fucking hot. The Green Ranger, holy shit! Homeboy's an MMA fighter, damn. But
And again, I want to stress this. This is still a rumor.
This
it
is a
hasn't been
rumor.
confirmed.
Go Power Rangers.
but the rumor is that Michael Bay was just signed on to direct.
Right.
Oh, poor Power Rangers.
and if
that's
this
what
is
I-
the
done
case,
before you even started.
if this is the case, I have to say Michael Bay is now the official rapist of our childhoods because he's got Transformers, Ninja Turtles, and Power Rangers.
The
Wait,
Ninja
he
Turtles
did-
comes.
Ninja Turtles too.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
doing Ninja Turtles.
Are they still going with the alien?
No.
No,
No?
no.
Okay.
Well, yes and no.
Yeah, the rumor
ooze-
is that the
the ooze comes from
alien-based.
aliens. Right.
Okay.
But
And now they've established that the white guy in the trailers, the dude who's done other movies, but I only know him from Equilibrium, William Fletcher. Is that
yes, William Fletcher.
it? He's not Shredder.
No.
Shredder is a Transformer.
Right.
What?
He's a mech.
He's a mech samurai.
So Shredder isn't actually even a guy. It's just like a big robot.
Like I said, in the
Terminator.
It's a Terminator.
kind of yeah. In the
Or it's just a fancy machine for making coleslaw.
in the show that Fox
He's
Never-
a big blender.
never needs a can opener. In the show they made that Fox did, 2000 something.
Right.
Shredder was killed at the end of the first season. Leo cut his head off,
Really?
and then he got up
What?
and picked his head up and walked away. And we
I
were like,
smell robot.
"Yep." We were like, "What the fuck?" So that Shredder was a renegade from the species that looks like Krang but isn't.
Okay.
So you know how like we have like all kinds of humanoid aliens
Right.
in movies. So there are like a couple species that look like him,
Mm-hmm.
and they had come to the planet and they had like mech bodysuits like from Men in Black.
Okay.
And
Shredder was
that
one of them.
Shredder was one of them. The
Okay.
original Shredder was like an ancient shadow demon, and he was in a movie that had, it was really cool. They had the original Ninja Turtles from the comics, where all of them were like black and white and with the red masks.
Right.
The 90s Ninja Turtles, they were all goofball, and then these Ninja Turtles, and it was called like Ninja Turtles Forever.
Right.
It was pretty fucking cool.
That's intriguing.
Yeah.
The Turtles movie, I'm sure we'll discuss at length when it comes out. It's due out in about a month,
Yeah, like 3
and
weeks.
we'll see what Bay does with that.
Rapes it,
Well,
just like the rest.
we will see.
I'm so
But again,
sorry.
this as far as the Power Rangers go, it's just a rumor right now. The studio has not confirmed it, and let's pray that he doesn't get attached to that property because Lord knows, and you had mentioned this. Lord knows what the Megazord's going to look like. You know, it's just going to be a big Transformers knockoff.
I mean, it'll look cool. He does a good job with designing robots, but Shredder's not a robot.
No.
And you know that like all the fucking Power Rangers are gonna look like all like mech'd out.
Yeah.
He just got really excited because there were aliens.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on to the next bit of movie news, which was just confirmed a day ago, which was Pacific Rim 2 is on the way. And all I can say is, hell yes. This is the anti-Michael Bay, because this is how you do giant robots.
This movie
Giant
s-
robots!
The first movie sucked.
What?
It was
I didn't
awful.
even see
Wait,
it.
wait, what?
It was awful.
You didn't
Pacific
like
Rim
it?
was,
There was-
amazing!
There was 15 minutes of story and then a shit ton of Godzilla ripoffs.
What?
No,
Wow,
not
Yes.
necessarily.
I know,
They're
both
like,
of them.
oh, well, man.
The first 15
Right.
minutes explained the entire movie. Then there was a shit ton of Godzilla ripoffs, a big hole, and a nuke. And that was it.
Do you want to take this, Karen, or should I?
You should. You,
Okay.
You probably have more
Okay, now
knowledge.
here's the thing. It in of itself is a Godzilla ripoff because they're calling them kaiju.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a rip on Godzilla. It's a rip on the entire kaiju genre from Japan.
You're not helping your case.
But that's not the point. They're all not just Godzilla. They're also Mothra. They're also Gamera.
I didn't say they were Godzilla himself ripoff. I meant as a property they were a Godzilla ripoff.
Okay, but it's not necessarily ripoff. It's an homage. What they're doing is saying, look, Guillermo del Toro loves the kaiju genre. So he said, I want to make an homage to that genre, which is what Pacific Rim was. He took big robots and said, I'm going to put them against big monsters.
Okay.
And while the story was generic, I will admit that, it is straight out of, screenwriting 101. What they did with those robots, what they did with those kaijus, was amazing. I only wish Transformers was that badass.
I mean, all right, but then by that logic, Michael Bay loves Transformers, and he wanted to homage it when he made Battleship. So he made Battleship with Transformers aliens.
But I would also argue that Pacific Rim also had, while not the greatest writing, it had good
you
characters.
just liked it because there was an Asian girl.
Yeah, that's kind of true. But there was good writing. I mean, there was a lot
No,
of
not good writing, but good,
sorry,
good
characters. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
that was bad writing. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
the
it's okay.
writing wasn't great.
The
no.
writing was awful. The characters were terrible.
No, they were
What
not.
are you talking about?
The greatest
I
character
will
design
defend-
were gold-tipped
There's about to
boots.
be a rumble.
Oh, you're talking about
Hellboy's
Over
gold-tipped
here.
boots.
yeah, Ron Perlman and his gold tip boots. Yeah.
But no, they were good characters. Like, they were interesting characters that you don't normally see in blockbuster movies. I think I've talked about this before. I can't remember if it was in this podcast or just in regular talking about things.
On your
But, you
XTube
know,
account.
what? Okay. But, you've got a good, like, in a blockbuster where you've got a good kind of father-daughter kind of relationship, you've got a platonic relationship between a man and a woman, you've got a kick-ass, strong female character, and...
Who's got daddy issues with a black dude?
Okay.
And she's Asian.
Okay, but okay, you got me there.
No, but I have to say, how they introduced their relationship, that kind of backflash with him saving her in the mech,
Yeah.
is amazing.
It was.
I loved that story. I loved that backstory.
I don't think they're selling Paul. What about you?
No, Paul can go ahead and hate it all he
Yeah,
wants. I'm just
because-
saying I loved it.
And on top of which, again, as I said, like in a lot of blockbuster movies, it's about there's so much
Sexual tension?
sexual tension and damsel in distress and that kind of thing. Whereas in this movie, you've got strong individual characters where it didn't, that the romance part of it didn't matter. There was no romance in it, and it was kind of like, I don't know, it was refreshing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but what I look at when I go into any game, or obviously a book or a movie or a television show, isn't what I look at first. And I'll give it. It didn't have the romance. It had decent characters. The effects were gorgeous. Is the overall story. I need something that at some point is going to make me think. I need a twist. I need several twists. I need a lot more than it gave me more than I expected. But it didn't give me what I want.
Okay.
And I think that's perfectly fair. Sorry, I'm just
No, that's
cutting
fine.
you
Go ahead.
I think that's perfectly fair. If there are people who are more narrative driven, and you need to go in for that. Where but this movie wasn't necessarily a narrative driven kind of movie. It was character driven. It was great fight sequences.
Right.
It was nice choreographing with things fighting each other.
Right.
And
And Charlie Day was in it.
Yeah, and Charlie Day.
and Idris
who doesn't
Elba.
love Charlie Day?
And Idris Elba, he was also amazing.
Idris Elba was really cool. And
Yeah.
of course,
Oh, yeah.
one of the most quotable lines of this decade, today we are canceling the apocalypse. You know, that is right up there with, I forget the guy from Independence Day. Like, today we celebrate our Independence Day.
Bill Pullman? Bill Pullman, was that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when's that sequel come out?
Oh, that comes out in a couple years.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, I know we've talked about that.
We've totally talked
There's
about
an Independence Day 2 coming
what?
out.
Yeah.
In fact, I
we
think
lose
we
our
did a movie
independence?
news about that. There's an
It's called-
Independence Day 2 coming
It's
out.
called July 5th.
After aliens
Yeah.
in New
Cleaning up the fireworks is what it's called.
Michael Bay's doing it.
Oh God.
No. The original director, Ronald Emmerich, I don't even know if he's coming back for that.
Isn't he dead?
No, he's still directing. He's done.
I just say things.
Ronald Emmerich has done, Day After Tomorrow, 2012.
I liked that.
I liked the first one. I hated the second one, and I love John Cusack.
I'm not a fan of John Cusack.
I like John
I
Cusack.
like John Cusack.
I love John Cusack, and that movie was awful.
2012,
Yeah,
you mean?
2012.
2012 was garbage.
Awful.
Yeah, but I like
That is called that effects overload. After like the first half hour of watching those special effects, which were admittedly good, it just became okay, enough. It's almost like they just said,
we have a little story, please, because
So what you're saying is they gave you 15 minutes of story in the beginning, and then the rest was based on character
no.
development and graphics?
And that
Wow, sounds like the Pacific Rim.
It sounds a lot like Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim was a great movie.
No, because unlike Pacific Rim, what they had felt they needed to do in 2012 was, okay, we're going to systematically destroy every American landmark in sequence. Like, we're going to make a point of showing...
Nowhere else matters.
Right, nowhere else matters. Let's just show all of the big landmarks. Not even that. Show the John F. Kennedy aircraft carrier crashing onto the White House. Like, there is nothing more earth-shattering in America than seeing the White House destroyed. But not only that, drop an aircraft carrier on top of it.
I actually don't remember that movie well enough to like really
I
argue
don't-
any points.
I don't think I've seen it.
Plus, I don't even think it gave 15 minutes of story. It was just special effects.
Right.
The whole entire
Stay
one.
with
Carnage from
Right.
the beginning.
Hey, that's what it was. It was a special effects reel. Admittedly, a very good one, but it was just a special effects reel.
Hey, we're divorced. I hate you. You hate me.
Oh God,
I'm
yeah,
remarried.
that crap. I'm so
That's it.
sick. I'm
That
getting
was
tired of that
annoying.
trope. That trope is getting really old, where it's the divorced couple who have a kid, and now they have to try and get back together before the end
Like
of the film.
Sharknado.
Yeah, like Sharknado.
OMG, did you see they have
That
a
is a
Pops?
box office hit.
They have a little Pops doll for Sharknado. I refuse to ever see the movie, but I'm getting the fucking statue. It's so fucking cool. I'm gonna stick it next to my Daenerys on my desk. Yeah, buddy.
funny little side note on that. Do you ever watch the Will Wheaton Project?
No, because I have self-respect.
Okay, but they had a little contest where they had a picture of the guy who plays Hodor on a green screen.
Hodor's gay, and he's gorgeous, and we're friends on Facebook.
Okay, but anyway, they had a green screen of him like giving a thumbs up, and they said Photoshop this, and someone created Hodornado, which was just a bunch of Hodors flying around in a tornado. I was like, that would be a great film.
Gonna need to go to the bathroom. I'll be back in 15 minutes. Yeah, that actor, he's a DJ.
Yes, he is.
He has 3 star tattoos tattooed around his left eye or his right eye, maybe, because I guess it's inversed. Which I'm like, I need to fucking like really see him on the show now to see how well they cover that up, because that's fucking awesome. He got really mad during an interview that nobody's ever asked him if he was gay, because he's a bear and nobody thought that he'd be gay, and he got really offended, and he was like, it really pissed me off that nobody ever asked if I was gay and nobody ever cared. And he's got like all these like bear followers on Facebook, so now we're Facebook friends. And it's like, and what's really weird is that it's him. It's not like somebody for him, because like he posted last week. He was like, guys, keep in mind that I don't have a fan page yet. This is my like personal Facebook, so you guys can't come on here and like talk shit on the show or like just like post nasty things. Like, I will have to remove you.
Right.
And then the other day he was like, yeah, I had breakfast with Josh. It was great to see you again. And I'm like, who the fuck is Josh? Why wasn't I invited to breakfast, Hodor?
Real nice.
And Steve gets jealous. He's like, are you trying to talk to Hodor, the dragons guy now? And I'm like, oh my god, Dean DeBlois is gorgeous.
Anyway,
If you Google Dean DeBlois, it comes up Dean DeBlois bear. Because he's hot.
I feel like we could get on any topic and it will devolve back into bears at this point.
It could go back to Poison Triscuits.
So,
So,
Pacific Rim 2 has a release date. and it's set for April 7th, 2017.
Oh, that's all right. The world will end by then.
Really?
Probably. So Once Upon a Time has
World
casted
State.
2 characters from Frozen.
Oh,
Yeah, I
saw
did see that.
news.
Because I shared it on Facebook. You're welcome.
yeah.
And that's intriguing. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't watch Once Upon a Time. Sorry,
I have
but
to catch up on like 3 seasons or whatever.
Yo, just
Now
like
watch
stop at the end of the Peter Pan story because that shit was baller, and then the fucking whole Wicked story was garbage. I stopped watching it because it was awful. And then I watched the last 30 seconds of the last episode that had nothing to do with the Wicked story again. And then the last like 10 fucking seconds was,
Elsa.
thank you.
Mm.
And she got all pissy and she froze the ground.
Uh-huh.
I was like, uh-oh, bitch!
She stamp her foot.
No, she didn't stamp her
Oh.
foot.
My niece would say she has to stamp her foot.
Why?
Because that's what she does in the song. She's like changing everything and she stamps her foot. And
I still haven't
turns
seen
her
Frozen.
face.
Oh,
haven't
we
seen
need to watch
Frozen?
Frozen.
I need to see it.
OMG!
I have it.
The good guys win.
Go USA 5-8.
I'm so glad we won that soccer game. What's it called? The World Cup. That's the one with the ball, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Lots of bouncing balls.
Ooh.
Anyway,
I like those.
So,
Oh God, never mind. I was gonna say, speaking of bouncing balls, should have been at my volleyball game last week. I'm sorry, this is so way off topic.
We said bouncing balls, not bouncing boobs.
No, balls. It's co-ed.
oh God, I know what you're gonna say.
OMG,
oh,
there were
God.
balls?
No,
No,
Paul, you will like this story, but continue.
Then
there
why
was
did you
this
stop me from being
man.
excited?
Thank God I was not playing his team. He was on the court next to us, and it's outside in a field. And he was wearing what you would think would be like spandex tight, like biker shorts, but they were baggy in the front, and you could see everything. And he
Do
was
you
like,
think that you wouldn't have seen everything if they weren't baggy? Like, you would have just had an outline.
No,
No,
but it
but
would have
then
been.
it- then
would
it
have
let
been
it, like,
tight. It just would have been a
move.
bulge. But since it
Yeah.
was loose, it was like bouncing around in front
yeah,
of you.
he like jumped to spike it.
It was a train wreck. You
Yes.
couldn't look away.
I was going to say, like, you're acting like you hated it, but you obviously
No,
watched
I
it.
did. Well, I had to watch it.
You're not wrong.
It's okay.
Remember, I told you that girl flashed me her boobs, and I was like, put those away! I'm playing a game. I need to not stare at your breasts. They're awful.
Wow.
And then she put them away, and I was like, what was I saying? This is the card that I have played.
Oh, man. Anyway, we digress. Let's get back to Pacific Rim 2, which has a release date of April 7th, 2017. And Del Toro has confirmed that a decent amount of the original cast will be returning back.
Except for the
Riley,
people that died.
Mako, Gottlieb, I forget his name, but also Hannibal, which is Ron Perlman. How they're going to bring him back because he was eaten, but then after the credits, it was revealed that he was spit out
He
by the
got
big
out.
monster. Yeah.
And then he looked for his boots.
Yeah.
Because he had
But
boots.
they'll be back, and this is something a little strange that they're going to tie in with it. They're actually going to have a graphic novel series and an animated series in tandem with this. Now, that's intriguing. Like, will the animated series just be online, or will it be released for Cartoon Network or something? I don't know what it's going to be released for. I don't know what Legendary
It's gonna just
Pictures.
be like a Netflix.
That'd be
thing.
probably might be the
They're
case.
trying to do what Marvel did with S.H.I.E.L.D.
That might be the case, yeah. But also a graphic novel series, which could be intriguing. I don't know if it's going to be prequel or, in between events or something, but I want to know more about this universe, And that's one of the things I really liked about the first film, is that it's not like...
The only film?
Yeah, the only film, sorry. What I liked about the film was that it threw you into the universe without having to give you, an hour of explanation. It wasn't like the first Godzilla film, where not the Japanese one. I mean the '98 Broderick one.
You don't
Where-
have to be racist about it.
Yeah, no, I like how you just pointed at me and was like, not, you
No,
know.
no, that's not what I'm saying. Oh my god!
She's not
Totally
Japanese, Mike.
ignored her. He was like, ignore everybody else in the room. Karen, it's not that one.
I wasn't even gesturing at her. For the love of God, don't make me the racist one. Paul is here.
Obviously, you're way worse than I am.
Anyway, so
God,
the '98 Broderick film, it spent like 45 minutes. Everyone asking, "Oh, what is this thing? What is this thing? What is this thing?" No,
Because there's a big thing.
Well-
Ting. I'm sorry, Ting. There's a giant Ting.
well,
Get that thing.
Get that ting.
in Pacific Rim, they don't do that. They give you about 10 minutes of exposition just to say,
5 minutes
"Hey."
storyline. There's your 15 minutes.
But no, there's more than that. For the love of God. You go ahead.
I think
don't think God had anything to do with that movie.
I think too that I agree with Paul a little bit, in the way that I actually didn't think there was enough story. Like it
You only
it,
liked a strong Asian character. That's the only reason. She watched it.
and the relationships and the like I like the characters and I like the fighting and the and the choreographed fighting scenes and stuff, but I did think it was missing a little bit of story.
I think that you're gonna leave Robin for a big black dude who looks like fucking Heimdall.
Oh my god.
She hesitated.
Hi, Jon Stewart.
That's not happening. But I think he would be a good Jon Stewart, though.
I think you'd be
Yes.
I think he would
Yes, he
be
would.
amazing.
Yes, he would. Absolutely.
Kudos for knowing who Jon Stewart is. I mean, I'm not DC, but good job.
Anyway,
Did you see the photo I shared today
of
the old ass Batman knocking the shit out of Guy Gardner in
yes.
one hit? And then
You know who Guy Gardner is?
The other Green Lantern.
He's one of the other Green
the
Lanterns.
ginger
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
the one
No-
that people don't like.
Yeah, everybody
Yeah.
hates him.
Yeah.
He knocks Guy out in one punch, and then like Black Canary walks in, and she's like, "Why is Guy on the floor? Is he dead?" No, wait, we couldn't be that lucky. What happened to Guy?
and it's like Batman hit him once.
Bruce is the man.
Yes, he is. So, getting off of movie news and into the trailers. First one being Life After Beth.
Beth, you're so beautiful. I'm so happy you're back. You don't want to eat me, do you?
Not right now.
No, I mean like really eat me.
Not when my parents around.
Okay, it's not fun. It's weird. End of kiss, guys.
What's going on?
I wrote this for you.
This sucks.
Well, if you could just listen to your heart.
Zach, what's happening to me?
You ate a guy.
Oh, what do you want from me, Zach? I'm a zombie. Zombies eat guys.
I love Audrey Plaza, and I hate zombie movies, but I'm gonna see this because the only thing I've wanted to watch in my life other than bear porn is Audrey Plaza eat people. And now I get that.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Because, I mean, on Parks and Rec, it's really the only thing she hasn't done.
Yeah. Too much.
Chris Pratt goes to space, she becomes a zombie. It all makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, I mentioned this in passing the other day when I first saw this trailer, but has Warm Bodies created a thing?
In passing with who?
I forget who I was talking to about it, but no, I can't recall when I mentioned it. But
Okay.
Did you, like, walk past a mirror and mention it?
yes,
Like,
yeah.
did you, like, stop somebody in Kohl's? Hey, I want to talk to you about something.
Yeah, that's what it was.
What do you think about this?
Right. So,
I think Warm Bodies so far, and I just don't like the idea of the undead. Like, people, I understand this genre, and I understand that, like, one of, people's big fears or whatever early on in people were, like, the dead getting up.
Right.
I don't know. I saw it in a documentary or something. It was fucking dumb.
Okay.
I was like, why do people like this shit? So I watched the documentary on it, and they were like, things that people fear is the dead getting up. And I'm like, I'm not all that scared of that, actually. Like, I'm scared of realistic things like Skynet. My Xbox killing me.
That's what I've been saying.
No, I have to talk to my Xbox to turn it on.
Because it's watching you.
No, like legit, I walk into the room and I say Xbox turn on and everything comes on.
Is that because it's voice activated?
Yes.
Okay, that's
It's fucking
yeah.
creepy. And then we go to leave and we'll be on like the Roku or something, so it won't have the Xbox screen up. So when you tell it Xbox turn off, it'll like ask you like, are you sure? But then that screen doesn't come up if like you're not on the Xbox, like on the cable or whatever input the Xbox is on. So you have to guess to see if it's like come up. She's like, Xbox turn off, and then you wait a second. Yes, and maybe it lights up and maybe it doesn't. It's fucking horrifying. And now we'll watch TV and Steve's like, where's the remote? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, Xbox volume up. And I'm just like, no. And I hit him and he's like, stop hitting me. That's spousal abuse.
Xbox, call the cops.
Xbox, snapshot, side screen, call police. Xbox, mute.
Anyway, we digress.
You know what's funny though is that
never mind. Go ahead.
the Xbox commercial with that dude
redigress.
from fucking Breaking Bad
Yes,
was
Aaron
turning
Paul.
people's televisions off.
Right.
Because it gives commands. And it was
Yeah,
giving
he
commands
says-
that the Xboxes were reacting to.
Yeah, it's
Oh
like
my
Xbox play Titanfall, and people's Titanfall would turn on their Xbox.
And then at the end it said Xbox turn off. Yes, and people's shit was
my
shutting
God.
yeah, or like Xbox record that, and everyone's Xbox just starts recording stuff. You know?
Oh my gosh, that's
It's
hilarious.
fucking brilliant, honestly. But anyway,
goodness.
so I don't really get into zombie movies, but I really, really liked that Nicholas Hoult.
Warm Bodies. No, I like Warm Bodies as
I thought
well.
it was like a cute little movie. It was so light and fun.
I know.
No.
I can't
didn't
wait
see
until
it.
there's like a book genre about like a girl who falls in love with a zombie who's going to her high school, but he's really like 4,000 years old, and then he has like an issue with this cult of like, I don't know, witches or something.
Right.
And then she's like really droll and like really doesn't have any
Right.
emotion. And then at the end she wants to be made into a zombie, and then they have a zombie baby, but there's this witch who marries the zombie baby years in the future.
Right.
I think they should make that into a book.
Yeah.
And then a movie. Mm-hmm. They could call it like
Zombie light.
Zombie Light.
Yeah.
Zombie Dark. The Pulse.
Right, the Pulse. Oh my God, that's. Well, no, they've already made the Pulse.
Yeah,
Sorry,
like they haven't ever used the same movie line twice.
But no, I have to say, so we had girls
But
attracted to
zombie would be a
vampires.
racist term, so they'd be like inferi. That's what they
Yeah,
called them in Harry Potter.
you can call them walkers. You'd call them. I don't know.
Schoolgoers.
I don't know.
The undead.
No, undead
There'd
would
be-
probably be derogatory too.
There'd be like an entire like.
Be like, they're not dead. They're infected. So they never died.
More infected. Remember the other week when you were feeding me a
Pulses. Call them
sandwich?
pulses.
Pulses. There you go. Flatliners.
Flatliners. There you go. That's a good one.
That's what they call humans in That's what some mutants call humans in X-Men. Flatliners.
Really?
Because they don't register the X gene.
Oh, interesting.
Or flat scans. One of the two.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so you had, young people attracted to werewolves, young people attracted to vampires, and you have young people attracted to zombies. Now, this isn't a classic zombie, because Audrey, what's her last name? Plaza. She doesn't look like a zombie at first. She just looks normal.
God,
But
you are so racist. Not all zombies look the same, Mike. God,
sure they do.
white people.
Anyway.
Living people.
But they make it in passing, like, oh, well, she's resurrected. Which, by the way, Karen mentioned this. Very good cast in this movie.
Very good cast.
Really looking forward to it because not only is it
Dean DeHaan?
is that his name, Dean DeHaan?
Yeah, I
Oh.
think his last name's DeHaan. He's the dude from Chronicle and Harry
Yeah,
Osborn from
right,
Spider-Man 2.
right. That's his
I
name.
didn't
Right.
see
Sorry about that.
the second Spider-Man.
But you also have John C. Reilly and
Molly Shannon.
who hasn't gotten that much work recently, but I've always liked her.
She
I
also
like her.
hasn't aged since like the late 80s.
Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah.
strange. She could still go out and do Superstar.
And Anna Kendrick. As
Yeah.
well.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I like
And
her.
she's always been really good. in anything
She's
she's done.
always
good at
great.
everything.
Yeah.
She was really good. I didn't realize it was her, but she was really good in Scott Pilgrim.
Yes, she was. She was really Scott's sister, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was really good in that.
I didn't realize that was her at first. And then I watched it recently. I was like, oh my god, it's Anna Kendrick!
But no, very solid cast behind this, and
And Matthew Gray Grubler.
Who?
He's from Criminal Minds.
I haven't. Sorry, I
Okay.
don't watch it.
Yeah.
But,
That was
and-
real TV.
He's also the spokesperson, or was the spokesperson for Aldo for a while.
Aldo.
Isn't that a dog food?
No.
No, that's Alpo.
Oh.
like it's like a shoe accessories brand
Mm.
thing.
I used to
Tall.
know the term for that.
Tall, skinny guy.
No.
Anyway.
It's
Anyway,
gonna come to me in one of those like,
on.
random moments when I'm having a conversation with somebody else. I'm just gonna blurt out this random German word.
but anyway, so the intriguing thing about this
Haberdashery.
what?
No, that's what it's called.
Okay,
I told you it was gonna come out. Like,
so I don't know where this movie goes. At first, it looks like it's played up for laughs, but it looks like it gets kind of dark towards the end, at least in the
dark
trailer.
comedy.
And I would like that. Not only that, but the movie is rated R, so it could take that turn. It could take a very dark turn at the
wasn't
end.
Warm Bodies rated R?
No, it's PG-13.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there was no reason to make that rated R. There was really no nudity. The violence wasn't that bad.
I don't know.
Biggest nudity was her in a bra.
Yeah,
Ew.
right.
That was it. And it was like a second
Right.
gun.
Mike, you're the only one in this room who likes girls. I was gonna say who likes boobs, but that's not true. I love boobs.
Who doesn't?
Everybody loves boobs.
Yeah.
Karen likes boobs.
Now, one little bit of news on this is that the director is one Jeff Bina, who was the director of I Heart Huggabees. Has anyone seen that?
No.
Nope.
I haven't seen it. Nope. But I know
Okay.
of it.
It was a very dividing film when it came out. It was one of those
I heard it was really
indie, like pseudo-philosophical films, and everyone either loved it or hated it. I really think you only loved it if you were one of those indie hipster lovers of film, you know?
I think I'm gonna see this movie now so I can hate it
Yeah.
or love it.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna like come over in like a beanie and like girl jeans. Yeah, buddy.
Well, I know you like certain indie films.
I do.
Like, what was it, Nick and Nora's? I know you love that.
Nick and Nora is an awesome movie.
No, I like Nick and Nora's, but it's pure indie hipster. It really is.
Yeah, but it was like in the beginning of indie hipster. It was before indie hipster.
It was before
like
it became a
indie
thing
hipster.
and got really annoying.
Yeah.
Right. So, anyway.
And Charlie Bartlett, but that wasn't indie
I
hipster.
love Charlie Bartlett.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Also Kat Dennings. Kat Dennings is the shit, dude.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
So, moving on from that is...
If the only person to reappear in Thor 2 was Kat Dennings, and it was just called Thor 2, I would still see it.
I will admit, I kind of got a little annoyed with Kat Dennings in Thor 2.
I love
I
Kat
liked
Dennings.
her.
No, I like her as an actress. I think she
No,
does.
I loved her in Thor 2.
But she's
Natalie
just
Portman
there.
got kind of annoying.
She
totally
was
got
kind of
annoying.
just
Yeah, I
there
know,
for. Well,
Laughs?
she didn't really serve a point in the first one either. But she was just hamming it up the entire time she was on screen.
I think
in my
Natalie
opinion.
Portman was more annoying in that movie.
Well, you're welcome that somebody came in and made you laugh.
No, Loki is the one who made me laugh in that.
Oh, I love Loki.
Well, we know that.
That's going to be the spin-off movie. I love Loki.
Loki, I'm home.
Can we do that? Can we please do a black and white Asgardian movie? I love Loki.
Oh my God, I think that's okay. And the fangirl comes out.
I call dibs on Loki.
I called
Okay.
it the
Actually, no, even better. Even better. And we can still do that, but Loki has been a woman. So at the
Yes.
end, Loki can become a woman and she can be Loki.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll work with that. Sure.
that would be my outfit for next year's Comic-Con anyway.
I really want to be Rocket Raccoon, but I texted my brother 2 days ago and he hasn't responded, which probably means no. But I asked him if I could make his son Rocket Raccoon for Halloween and I could be Groot and carry him around. So either he doesn't know what any of those things mean and he's going to Google them and he forgot, or no.
That'll be a cool cosplay, though. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I need to borrow your baby. What? Yeah, I'm going to give him this giant Nerf gun and take him around a bunch of strangers so they can take pictures.
And give him the voice of Bradley Cooper.
I'm just going to be able to go, Logan, all you need to say is, I murdered you. That's all you need to say.
So, moving on from Life After Beth, the next one we have up is Sex Tape.
Hello, and welcome to an evening with Annie and Jay.
Honey, erase that video.
I'll erase it, babe.
Don't forget, okay?
I won't forget.
You're really wet.
Hello, and welcome to an evening
Oh, shit.
with Annie and Jay. Hello, and welcome to an evening with Annie and welcome to an evening.
Honey, did I just hear? Is that us?
You know the cloud?
Did Karen just throw up in her mouth?
I think
Just a
Karen
little
groaned
bit.
a little bit.
She threw a little on me.
Now, again, another rated R film. And I don't know how I feel about this
Okay,
one.
okay. First of all,
Right.
who the fuck gives iPads for a gift
Okay,
to
yeah,
everybody?
man,
Like,
absolutely.
a lot of them too.
I know.
It seemed like there was like a dozen of them out.
Exactly. It makes no
You give
sense.
it to one relative.
maybe.
Yeah, your daughter, a family member, you know?
I don't have
Your
an
boss,
iPad or
your
a daughter.
cousins, your
Right.
neighbors.
Everybody who has that kind of money.
Unless this
Jason
person
Segel.
works for Apple, which I don't think they do. That there's no way
I
they
hope
could
not, because of the point in the trailer where they're fucking up Apple's system.
Right. Wait, oh my God.
Yeah, but
Okay.
then how does it automatically connect to the cloud by all of them?
Right.
I
That's
thought you had to
really
like upload to like a private account.
You do.
Well,
And here's the
it'll
thing.
automatically connect. What would have made more sense is
was like,
like
how does this
somebody
work?
at Apple accessed the account and like shared it online.
Right. There would be no
Right, I got
reason why
that.
it would just go to these other iPads. There's no reason for that. Unless they're all on the same
And
cloud.
the thing is,
But
you
even then it
wouldn't
wouldn't
do
make
that.
sense.
And also, you would sync it all. Why would you sync it all before you gave it to people?
Right.
That made no sense. The whole entire premise of this whole entire movie doesn't make any sense.
Right.
No, it doesn't.
Admittedly, there are holes in logic,
Right.
but
There's a
Cameron
but.
Diaz is in it,
And you might see some boobies.
and you might see some boobies. And Cameron Diaz is in her 40s, but she still has nice boobies.
I mean, I think there are other women in their 40s who has nicer boobies.
I completely
I'm not,
agree with that.
making a list of who has the best boobies. I'm just saying, for what we were offered, they could have been worse.
And
Jason
and
Segel
also,
is in his 40s, and I would rather see her boobies.
he's
seen
in his 40s?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I've seen him naked, and I wasn't impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, have we all seen Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Yes. You haven't?
Really? Who hasn't?
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like
okay.
someone to know. Okay, I'm
I
sorry.
haven't seen it in a long time, but I saw it.
I mean, even if not for Jason Segel, we all know that I'm madly in love with Mila Kunis, and you're required in being friends with me to see
Karen
her.
saw it because she's in love with Kristen Bell.
Oh, Kristen Bell.
Your girl shoots lightning, and mine blows up Jeeps. That's fine.
Anyway, so
Oh, and
Go ahead.
also another plot hole, kind of. They're talking about like spicing up their sex life. She comes in roller skates and whatever,
right?
And like, and okay, so like, let's say there was a role playing thing going on. Why would you? I mean, like, why would you do both of them at the same time at the beginning? Like, shouldn't you try one first, and if that doesn't work, and then do something else?
Right.
No.
I've never.
No. Like, if I could get Steve to do anything kinky, there would be a camera hidden
like,
somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Because he wouldn't agree to it.
Well, but
the camera.
But in this case, it was kind of like a consensual kind of.
My thing along the lines of that, where I thought you were going, was she rolled in with skates and said we need to spice up our sex life, and said I think we should record us having sex. It doesn't look like those were the same situation.
Right.
Like, okay, I'm on skates and looking a hoe. We should record ourselves having sex, and then she just rolled away. I'd be like, excuse me. Booty shorts? You need to get your ass rolling back in here and on the shaft. And we can record the next time. And that would have spiced some shit up.
Right. Now, I know everyone has their fetish of booty shorts and roller skates. Okay. Whatever. But I don't get how this movie is going to work. It just seems like it's going to be set piece after set piece after set piece of them having to go and find all these iPads and then somehow delete the video or, corrupt a hard drive or a system somewhere. And it's just a setup for where do we take them next, One part is them at like almost like at a high school or something. It looks like they're at some sort of community event.
And it was like shared everywhere.
Right.
In the video.
Right. And then another one is at like a relative's house. Another one's at
the boss's house.
The boss's house.
Yeah.
It's just going to be
coke with her boss.
That was really weird to me.
It's just set piece after set piece. And I hate that. Give us a progression of why these characters have to go to these places. Don't just make it wacky vignette after wacky vignette. Enough of that. That's terrible.
That's what it's going to be.
Kim, if you rolled in on skates and booty shorts, would he not be excited about that? I mean, what is one of your kinks, Mike?
I don't really have a particular one. I'm okay with whatever. I'm okay with her just coming over naked. I mean, come on in.
That's a kink.
All right then.
You're boring.
I'm sorry.
Mike just needs a little French maid costume for him to wear.
Oh, no, Lord.
For him to
For
wear.
him
For me to wear. Oh, my.
And you come in with like...
I'm about to say, that's not a small outfit. I'm sorry.
With the gray glue on mustache, and you tell him what to do.
Be like, you need to clean me.
And then like you like make him bend over and like dust things, and you hit him with the switch.
Wow. Wowie. Wowie zowie. So are we going to discuss that now? What's everyone's sex tape?
No, just yours.
Oh, just mine.
Just
Okay,
yours.
just pick on Mike. Okay, fair enough. Well, we're going to move on.
If you were gay, you'd be way kinkier.
I think...
I would have made
Paul
you.
would like you to be more kinkier.
I would
help
have
you out.
made you more kinkier. Or I would have broken your spirit. One of the two.
Probably a combination of both.
Probably kind of... This is what he likes!
I swear, the screaming stops after a while.
It's like, one day I just walk in, I give up.
Mike, doesn't that hurt? You stop feeling it after a couple minutes.
If there is a safety word, I don't care.
I don't remember it.
So moving on to that, it's a movie which, frankly, is one of the ones I'm dreading most on this list, which is Dracula Untold.
You can't protect us. I'll find a way.
I have been waiting an eternity for a man of your strength to arrive.
Welcome to your life.
What is it you are seeking?
I want the power to destroy my enemies and save my family.
There's no turning back.
Drink, Dracula.
That was like the only one on the, well, other than the first one, that I actually thought looked interesting.
Now, there's a couple promising aspects in this, but we're going to discuss
The
it.
CGI.
Right. Well, yeah.
And Luke Evans.
Who?
Luke Evans.
Is that the main guy?
Yeah.
He looks familiar. What's he from?
The Hobbit.
Yeah.
He was the bard. The second one.
Second one. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the second one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, no
He was in
worries.
something else.
Anyway, we
I think
discussed
the bats
this.
look cool.
What?
The bat scenes.
Yeah.
Oh, Dominic Cooper is also in it.
Yeah.
I like him.
Is the dude who played Dredd in it? The guy who played Bones?
Oh, Carl Urban.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was Carl Urban in there?
He looks
I
like
didn't
the
see
villain.
him. Really?
I think so. Yeah, they only showed they didn't show any close-ups, but it looked like him.
That could be the case. I like Carl Urban.
I like Carl Urban.
So, anyway.
I like Dominic Cooper too.
Oh yeah. So.
Cooper.
He's Papa Stark
Yeah.
Oh right.
in the Captain America movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He was homeboy in Mamma Mia.
Oh yeah, yeah. Anyway, so we discussed this actually several podcasts back. I don't know if you recall it, but we had discussed that Universal was going to be doing this film, and about what they were doing with the character of Dracula.
I thought you said it was going to be a show.
Oh no, it was going to be a movie. But here's what they're doing with Dracula. In fact, that they're giving him a family. They're making him a family man. Like he has to defend his family in this realm, and that is where I think they're getting off from the Dracula story. Now, the original Bram Stoker's Dracula. In that story, he's really just, love-driven. He has one love interest, which is Elizabeth, or Elisabetta, or whatever he calls her. And she dies, which drives him to become Dracula. Well, in here, he's driven to become Dracula because he has to defend his family and defend his homeland. Which is intriguing, but it's not really that big of a motivator. It's like how... So you basically are just going to become a one-man army. I feel that's less of a revenge motivation and just I need to be a good father motivation, Which
There's a Stark in this movie.
Okay, let's get back on that. What, Paul?
There's two Starks in this movie. You have Howard Stark from Iron Man. You have Rickon Stark from Game of Thrones. Family ties.
Yeah, I have to say yes. The special effects in this do look quite good, and we're losing Alison.
Hey, I've been up since 5 o'clock, all right?
She always has
Give me a
an
break.
excuse.
Every podcast, she will tell us that.
Because I get up at 5 in the morning.
Oh, we know, and the listeners know.
Life is so hard.
Hey.
I have 2 fucking jobs.
Anyway, so gonna say, what are you looking forward to on this? Because I'm very iffy about it. Do you think they're treating the character well in this Dracula? Because I don't like what they're doing as far as making him like he has to defend his family and he has to be this proud father and he has to show his son the way of the world. It's like what is going on here?
That's just because you're not used to a father figure that loves his family, Mike.
Wow. Okay.
That's harsh.
It is. He's gonna hate me even more now.
That is not the case.
And no, Mike's parents do love him very much.
Yes.
I do remember that they told you when you were gay that they would love you even though you were gay. Even though you weren't gay.
We're not bringing up that story.
That's a good story, though.
I love that they love him.
Do you know what? If
but
you
they'd
guys
hate me.
asked him that question,
No,
maybe we
don't
would answer it.
ask that question, guys. Well, I don't want to get into that.
I want to see who can ask the most inappropriate question. You know what? The person who asks the best question, we're gonna Skype with, and we'll bring them in on the show.
Oh, that would be awesome.
There we go. Sure. Let's do that.
Also, it would prove to me that people actually watch this.
Right.
Yes.
So,
listen to this.
For those of you listening, for those of you who can answer...
We might have to put a little excerpt in the beginning because they probably would have lost us by this point.
Right.
Or we would have lost them.
Right. So...
No, not if they're true fans.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's just I'll be listening.
Thank you.
This is the Easter egg.
Thank you.
This is the
Mike
Easter
says
egg
that
in the
people love my
podcast.
misogynistic racism.
Well, yeah, no,
Oh,
people
really?
people
Apparently.
tune in just to hear him be an asshole.
Okay.
It's an endearing quality.
Yeah. Which is why I think...
That's why I haven't beaten him up yet.
Right.
That's why she hasn't killed me, because
He's trying to get us good ratings.
Yeah.
Trying to go back up.
Now,
I'm the drama.
now, here's the thing. Because Dracula is an old property, like we discussed this with Hercules, because it's hitting the point where it's now royalty-free, I can guarantee we're going to be seeing a lot more Dracula stuff in the coming years. This is just the start of it. If you recall, a few months ago, we had a Dracula film that was really, really bad. You remember that?
Nope.
We actually discussed the trailer.
Did we?
Yeah, it was just terrible CG, terribly acted. I think it might have been like a limited release and then just gone straight to DVD because...
What was it called?
It was just called Dracula 3D.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a creative name.
Wait. I kind of have a recollection of it, and I don't know.
Who was in it? Is there anybody?
No one
good.
notable. Yeah,
Okay.
it was bad.
No names.
I do a lot of cocaine, so I don't really have that memory.
So, anyway, because it's hit now that royalty-free point, anyone can make a Dracula film if they wanted to. And they can do whatever they want with the property. Now, you would hope that they would, try and stick to the original story as much as possible. But then again, they're saying, well, we have to get people in seats. We have to do something different with Dracula.
Well, yeah, but then the whole thing is first off, non sequitur, I don't do cocaine. For people out there. Second,
here banging on the door of the next podcast. Where is he?
Where is he? Get him. Check his pockets. No, it's not in my pockets. It's in my butt.
Oh my god.
I mean, you know me with comics, and everybody falls asleep. I love alternate universes. I love to see what somebody new can do with a character pre-existing.
Right.
So if you can give me a good story, a good backstory on how somebody became this horrific monster, fine. What I don't want to do with every monster, I don't want to have to side with every single one.
Right, and that's what I don't like in this. They're not making him the villain who you can kind of be sympathetic for. You have to make him the family man that everyone can relate to.
But if by the end of the movie he
that.
murders everybody and he's eating people like Audrey Plaza, I'll be happy.
Okay, but you still have to make him the anti-hero. You have to make him the good guy who's just doing what he has to protect his family. And I don't like that. I like the guy who just said, I lost someone I love, fuck the world. You know, I like that. That's more compelling.
He's human. He hasn't lost them yet. Maybe that's how he loses her. He's a vampire. She's not. She dies. He doesn't. Then he just goes off and has sex with everybody else. That's what I do. Would do. What?
By the way, we still need to watch the 93 version of Bram Stoker's Dracula that you've been raving about but never got to seeing. Did you see that one?
I've never seen it.
Oh, that's the one with
Keanu Reeves?
No. Well, yeah, it's Keanu. Well, I'll have to list in a little bit. It's Keanu Reeves, Anthony Hopkins, Gary Oldman, and
Gary Oldman.
Yes, Winona Ryder. I've told you about this before. I know I have.
Love Gary Oldman.
We're going to move on to our next trailer, which is one that admittedly looks extremely silly, which is Leprechaun Origins.
There's a lot of things about our village that people don't know about. A lot of things that, we like to keep private. If it's real history you want to see, you need to see the Stones of the Gods. It's a 7-hour hike from here. But you could always stay in one of the cabins down the road.
Cabin in the woods. What's not delayed?
Did you hear that?
There's something out there.
It's locked.
What is going on, guys?
I would probably still see it.
Admittedly, Kim dates you, so her self-respect is still in question.
If, I could be wrong, but I think the last Leprechaun film was Phil. I could be wrong.
Right. It was just filling a gap.
Phil.
It just filled a couple hours.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the last Leprechaun film was Leprechaun Back in the Hood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was an awesomely bad movie.
Yes.
It was
and at that point they just said, you know
racist.
what, we quit. We're done. Now, and because here's the thing. Who finds a leprechaun scary? Has anyone ever found a leprechaun scary?
Black people.
There was that one movie where it was just like creepy looking. He got the big eyes and the big old head. It was just
That was the same.
He was just silly.
Was Leprechaun.
Yeah, that was the same franchise.
Yes, same franchise. And it's the same little guy, but I've never thought he was scary. No one could think that little midget thing, despite his superpowers, is scary. Little person. Sorry,
yeah.
not midget. Sorry, little person.
I mean, I think we've been so offensive throughout this whole entire podcast.
True enough.
I tried, but then I kind of just stopped myself and I was like, no.
Whatever.
I can't do anymore.
I want so bad to fuck a midget.
Oh my god.
Could you imagine how huge my
Moving
dick would look in
on.
their tiny little midget fingers?
Moving on.
I almost want to think.
Findmidgets.com.
I almost want to think that this movie is being made as a parody, almost like a spoof, because every genre has to have now their dark origin story. You know, everyone's doing a prequel, and all the prequels have to be these dark tales. You know, and here Leprechaun, which is admittedly an extremely silly series, now they're gonna do a prequel in Ireland.
You know what I want to see though? I want to see like the Leprechaun Untold movie, the story of like when he was human and he had to fight for his family against like, knights in Ireland. And he was finally just like...
He was a family man.
He was a family man. Well, he was a family little man.
Oh, yeah.
And he was finally just like, fuck it. And he just like punched the ground. And all of a sudden, this like wave of Lucky Charms just like hit the ground. And they were like,
Pot of
oh
gold was at the end of those Lucky Charms.
Right. And then his like catch line at the end was, it's magically delicious, bitch. Or maybe not bitch, because it would have been a minute ago.
No, see, that was the classic line from the original Leprechaun, which was this kid grabbing like a gold coin or something, because he has to collect all his gold coins again, obviously. And he shoots it at the Leprechaun, and he says, "Fuck you, Lucky Charms," which admittedly is an extremely epic line.
Did you see the thing I showed today that was like epic lines and the video game things, and it was Alien playing the Alien video game, and it was the line from Alien where he's like, "Game over, man. Game over."
I like it. That's pretty good. But yeah, WWE Films is attached to this, which they've only really made one good film, and I wouldn't even call it good, which was Oculus, which Kim and I saw. And
was that the movie with fucking Amy Pond?
Yeah.
I heard the movie was fucking terrible.
It wasn't that bad. It had bad moments, but let me say this. Of all the WWE films, it's the best. But that's not saying a whole lot.
Is WWE the wrestling?
Yeah. Yes.
Wait, why are they...
They have a film production company now.
Because why not?
Yeah, because why not?
Because America, that's why.
Right. Now, they've released films like...
America.
Yeah, they've released films like See No Evil, which was just a property for their wrestler Kane to be a big old jacked up killer type. Then they had one which was 12 Rounds, which was John Cena. And they had like The Rundown, which was The Rock. You know?
Oh, that was why that was so bad.
Well, the Rundown had some good moments.
Bad.
Well, I didn't see the other ones. I saw the first
I didn't
like
see
15.
any of them.
Well, I saw like the first 15 minutes of the Rundown, and I was just like, "Why am I watching this? I don't understand."
Yes.
I'm sorry. This just popped into my head. It nothing to do with what you're saying. It was like 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
You were making.
Go ahead. Way digressing. Go ahead.
So you were saying that no one is scared of little people.
Right.
Of leprechauns, not of little people.
Yeah,
No. I know people who are scared of little people, just not leprechauns.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Okay.
Oh, well, because you were saying he was like short.
Are you
not
scared of little
menacing.
people?
Were you
No.
gonna bring up
I was
like Chucky
gonna
or something?
Yeah, I was gonna say you could bring up Chucky, and not that, and like just a little doll scampering around. Like,
Right.
That's something that's been.
That's scary as
It
shit.
is scary. Yeah.
Right. And then that's true, but that may be more along the lines of something inanimate coming to life.
I think it's.
I mean, if there was a midget chasing me with a knife, I'd probably be pretty scared.
Yes, exactly.
I think anything chasing me with a knife,
Yeah.
I'd be pretty,
Now, you don't
Aren't
show
you a
you...
ninja?
What?
Oh, right, forgot. Yeah, no, never mind. I'd be fine.
She's some kind of Asian. She's probably a ninja.
Oh, my God. Anyway, so they don't mention this in the trailer.
I really thought she was going to hit me. She moved really fast. Like shit.
Again, considering how offensive we've been this whole entire podcast, because I think this is probably, like, this is why they didn't think it was a good idea for us to be on the podcast at the same time. I don't think, I'm pretty sure we've hit a low.
Right.
Well, I've hit a low.
Or have we hit a high?
I actually have not hit a low.
The viewership on this episode will tell the story.
The low that I hit, there were like 4 or 5 references to Kim's naughty areas, to the point where I texted her after I listened to it and apologized. I was like, I'm really sorry about some of the things I said. Not all of them. A couple of them are really funny. But a couple of them are really out of line.
You've insulted both Kim's naughty area and Allison's naughty area. Do you know that?
I've insulted your naughty area?
Yeah. There was one episode where I said, so Allison, how is Slower Lower going? And she's like, good. And he's like, is that what he calls your vagina?
I'm
Dude,
a clever
I totally
bitch.
missed that. How did I miss that?
I'm
did
really
I laugh
fucking
at it?
clever.
I probably did.
Snake charmer.
I don't know. I can't recall what you said. It was just, I think you just said you're terrible, Paul, or something like that.
Your vagina's a snake charmer.
It is.
It's the basket that you put the
Taste
snake
beast.
in, and then you play the flute, and it like starts to wiggle and dance.
Oh, God. So anyway, we digress back onto this. I just want to say one final point about this movie. The character, or the guy playing the leprechaun is actually a WWE wrestler, and his name is Hornswoggle.
So he's really
He's
big?
the midget dude
Yes.
that always goes under
Oh,
him.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't watch wrestling.
I know.
We
Jesus
used to watch
Christ.
wrestling on Monday night when we were bowling.
Oh my God, I remember that. And there was the ginger.
Right.
There was the ginger.
Hornswoggle was with the ginger.
Yeah.
I don't remember there being a little person. Spider-Man taught me to look up, not to look down. So
Well, if
bowl
you want a
again.
midget, Paul,
should.
you gotta
We
look
should.
down.
that's true. I do need to look.
If you want to find the midgets, because, you know.
That's why I haven't found
We
one.
need to like when you're editing this, every time anybody says midget, we need to like replace it with little people because that's the politically correct
with
term.
like really awful like overdubbing.
Yeah. So this little people.
Little people.
like we don't mean to be offensive, really. I'm like
Yeah.
I'm starting to like be uneasy because
Oh no! Look, it's
listen to this
okay
because of
because,
it.
like we've said, if you're racist to everyone, you're not really racist. It just means you hate the world.
Right.
Yeah,
Back
and
to-
that's why Blazing Saddles worked.
Yeah,
It's racist to
because if
everybody.
you hate everyone, no one can really hate you.
That's why Quentin Tarantino is so cool.
Because he just hates well
Everyone.
Well, no,
Well,
not
he's
necessarily
just-
Tarantino. Tarantino just thinks he's black.
That's true.
Who openly hates everyone is Michael Bay. He hates the world.
Really?
Because he puts stereotypes
But
in all his films.
but
yet
he
somehow
doesn't
people
make it work.
Right, exactly.
So
Right. So the final film we have up, which, speaking of stereotypes, is School Dance.
God.
It's 11 o'clock. Get y'all ratchet ass in the class.
Welcome to the high school with the nastiest.
What you pull that out from?
Oh, from my Louis Vuitton prison bag, nigga. What do you think? I pulled them out my ass. Flyest.
Hi, boys.
Hi, Mrs. Johnson.
Funkiest.
Do you have any paraphernalia in the car?
All we got is these brownies my grandmother made.
These are amazing. You tell her she needs her own show.
Players you ever met.
Ooh, look at that, there.
Stop looking at my gun!
Keep your eyes
Off my bitch!
I mean, are you going to the school dance?
You
I
better
think we should just like start like when I started to watch that I wanted to stab something in between my eyes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I started watching the trailer. I was like, oh, God.
Right.
I was like,
this.
I'm really confused about this movie because it looks like it should be the movie of a spoof genre.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that there have been any.
Right.
Because I was like, oh, it's dance movie. No, there was one of those already.
Yeah. It's not dance flick. It's not dance
it's,
movie.
It's just racial stereotypes.
It's racial stereotype movie.
It's not another
right.
racist movie.
let's throw them all together and have zero plot.
Right.
But that's all the trailer was about. Racial stereotypes that had
Yeah.
nothing to do with anything that's going on in the movie.
Like
Right.
even to the
It was
point where
really
like
bad.
Story.
even to the point where the black woman takes the white baby to the black guy and says, "No, this is your baby," and he's like, "No, it's not." Although I did really like that.
That was the only thing I laughed at.
I thought
the
that was
final scene with Cat Williams. Now, admittedly, I've liked Cat Williams in the past. He's done some decent stuff.
I don't really like Cat
but
Williams that much.
most of the
I don't know
parts
who he
he's been,
is.
most of the films he's been in, I haven't
black guy.
liked. It's really just been his
Okay.
stand-up I've liked. You know, kind of like same with Kevin James. I like his stand-up. He's terrible in movies. Some stand-ups just need to learn, stick to stand-up. You're not good in films.
I think Kevin James should just lay down.
Well, I know that.
So then you can take care of him.
Yep.
So,
I was gonna say the only part I liked was when Jim Brewer was eating the
the brownies.
The brownies,
because,
yeah.
yeah.
And when he
Brewer.
said he was like, I'm R. Kelly and started peeing.
It's hard to tell, but I think his partner is Melissa McCarthy.
That's what
Yeah,
I thought.
that's what
too.
it
You
sounded
didn't really
like.
see her.
You don't
But
see
you
her,
don't see her,
but it
I
sounds
thought
like
it was.
her,
It could've
and it's.
been.
I'm sorry, it's a rather large woman as well, so it's kind of hard to tell.
Racist.
But That's not racist. It's just her being
That's
fat.
a fattest. That's fattest, not racist.
Melissa McCarthy, if you want to live chat with us, we'll totally
No,
Skype with
basically,
you.
that's what Hollywood is doing.
Right. That's very true. Which, by the way, we're going to get to that in a little bit. But a little bit about this. This is Nick Cannon's directorial debut.
Oh, so that's what's wrong.
Because that's okay. Let's normalize all stereotypes, and instead, people will be like, yeah, it's fine. This is fine.
Right.
This is okay. Who is the demographic for this film? I do not understand.
Right.
There's no demographic for this film. This was, Mariah, I want to hang out. Bitch, go make a movie. Get out of my face.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Right. Now, there is a movie we're going to talk about, and we're not going to discuss it because there's only a teaser out right now. It's only like a minute short, and it's called Dear White People. Okay? Now, the reason we didn't watch it, because, again, it's just a teaser. It's only like one scene.
I can't wait.
But it's talking about how black people want a movie that isn't just black stereotypes, which I appreciate, except you keep making these, which tells me that's what you want.
And we're not the ones making them.
Right.
Black people make them.
Right. This is Nick Cannon making this.
It's just kind of like Fresh Off the Boat, that new
my God, yeah.
That new Asian television show.
It's on ABC, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like created by this Asian guy or this Chinese guy, and he's just like, oh yeah, it's real life experiences and stuff like that. But I'm just like, okay.
It'd be okay if it was just that, but it's
Karen's
not.
like, when I first got off the boat, that's not what it was like.
I got off a plane.
Right.
Fop.
But it's just like this idea of normalizing all of these racial stereotypes and thinking that it's okay when it's not really.
Right.
And it's driving me crazy.
And again, like we mentioned, if this was a spoof film, it'd be one thing. Because it's almost like he's poking fun at this genre. But it almost looks like it's not.
Like, there's something that sits really wrong with this film.
Right. It's not going far enough to be a spoof, yet it's just bad enough to be really, really bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really don't know what to say. It's not like Freeberg and Seltzer where it's called dance flick or, epic movie or something. And even if that was the case, we'd still hate it, but we'd say,
in a
okay,
different way.
It's just a parody of itself.
Yeah.
This doesn't even seem like a parody. And in fact, what is going on in this movie? It's like, it all revolves around a school dance.
Because I like the idea where it's school dance, and they mentioned school dance one time throughout the whole trailer, right?
They might have said school dance twice.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
Twice.
And
twice.
And let's not even talk about the stereotypes. Let's talk about the dialogue in this. The fact that the 4 black kids have to say everything at the same time, like, damn, and oh no, they didn't. Like, really? Really?
Oh, no, they didn't.
Are we going back to that? I thought we got away from that, really. And I'm going to sound really bad saying this. The only thing this film is missing is a black guy dressed like a black woman in a really big fat suit. That's all this film is missing, and then you've completed the trifecta of racism in your film.
You just haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah, Tyler Perry's going to be in the end.
He'll be after the credits.
No,
he's going to be the after credits sequence.
No, Eddie Murphy will be in the end, dressed like one. Because that was his shtick for a while. Just put him in a fat suit.
Martin Lawrence, and Tyler Perry, all 3 of them together.
Yes, all running around in their fat suits. Right.
That's worse than Karen and I showing up to the same place.
Yeah. But yeah, Nick Cannon.
I think even black people would get up and go, "That's fucked up."
Yeah, Nick Cannon. I don't know what to say. Either go full parody or just stop this film because we don't know what this is and it needs to go away. It really needs to go away. Now, going back to something like Leprechaun Origins, which I think is only going to be a limited release and straight to DVD, this is going to be a major motion picture release. Leprechaun Origins knows not to take itself that seriously, so it's going to limited release and straight to DVD, which is, in a sense, okay. Yeah. This is like, no, this is a film.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Major release, go see it. No.
It just really, really irks me. Like, I mean, I just want to just mention really quickly, like, kind of back onto the TV show Fresh Off the Boat that I think ABC is doing.
It is ABC, yeah.
Ugh. I don't understand. But, like, in a similar fashion, it's just kind of like, I don't need people coming up to me and asking, "Oh, is this really what it's like in China?"
Oh,
Like,
right.
Like, it's kind of like, are these stereotypes actually true? Like,
Right.
you know, like, like, why are we going for this kind of image? It's
Right.
like, especially when it's not a full-fledged parody film.
Right.
And it's like, and when you say things like based on true experiences, and this, again, is fresh off the boat, but, and I know that this film, School Dance, isn't trying to do that, but it's kind of like, that's not what we're, you know, that's not what we're trying to get to. You know, that's not the point where we're trying to reach. Like, oh, so is that what it's like in China? Don't speak to me like I'm 5 years old, or don't speak to me like I can't understand what you're trying to say. But anyway, sorry, I'm digressing.
No, that's perfectly fine.
Welcome to the show.
And again, and here's the thing. Even if this was full parody or not even full parody, if the comedy was okay, in a sense, you could kind of forgive it. If it was funny, there's nothing in this trailer that's funny, except for the final scene. I didn't laugh at one point in this damn thing. I mean, yeah, Jim Brewer, it's good to see him working again, and that R. Kelly scene, you know, might get a chuckle, but it's not that funny, it's just him peeing on somebody. But no, this movie needs to shove itself right up its own ass. I'm sorry, just go away. Don't release this, please. Relegate it to straight to DVD, because this is something that just shouldn't be released at all. No one should have to be exposed to this kind of film. And it's just a trailer, but no one should have to be exposed to this.
I agree.
But the final thing we'll talk about is our feature presentation. Oh, right. That's it. Yeah. So we have really 4 major releases coming out over the next few weeks. The first one we're going to discuss is Tammy. So, getting back on Melissa McCarthy, who, again, might be in School Dance, we don't know. But Tammy is coming out.
Yes.
Now, the trailers have looked progressively better for this. Kim and I discussed this a while back. At first, it looked just like it was, okay, she's fat, laugh at her. And Melissa McCarthy is better than that.
Yeah.
And the stuff she's done that's good is very good. When it's not just, oh, look, she's fat.
Yeah.
Because movies that have been guilty of that, you know, were in certain cases kind of bridesmaids, but more stuff, something like Identity Thief, where it's just, look, poke at her, she's fat, you know? Well, here, at first, it looked like that's what they were going to do. It was her robbing a fast food joint, you know? That's really doesn't get much worse than that. But since then, the trailers have shown a bit more, and there's a bit, not more character development, but there's more going on than just fat jokes, you know?
But I think, no, there was a bit more character development throughout the trailers, like, right?
Yeah,
like,
see what's going on in her
yeah.
life.
Exactly, and that's my point, right? Yeah. So, and I'm not going to say I'm going to see this. I probably won't see this, but
I think I might.
I think it's going to be a little bit better than what the trailers are showing.
Because Susan Sarandon.
Right, and
because Susan Sarandon.
I know, and I'm glad to see her in film again.
And
you know,
the other one was Susan Sarandon, and who's the other?
Oh,
older
I
one?
forget.
Was it Kathy Bates?
Yeah, I think Kathy
Was it
Bates is
Kathy
also
Bates?
in it. Yeah,
Kathy Bates. You know.
Yeah, and you can't go wrong with Kathy Bates. She's been great recently in anything she's been doing. She was in American Horror Story, and she was great in that. You know,
awesome in that. I can't wait for the next season.
Yeah. So, I don't know if this is necessarily going to do well. It is going up against another film that weekend, which is one we'll discuss next. But plus, it's also, you know, other major releases out right now, along with Transformers and everything else. I think it'll do okay.
Yeah.
But you have to question whether or not Melissa McCarthy is that big draw that people want her to be. Can she pull it in? Like, you know, with The Heat, they had to team her up with Sandra Bullock. And there's the fangirl. But with that tandem, it did surprisingly well.
It was a relatively decent movie.
And if you looked at the numbers for Identity Thief, people would say, "Oh yeah, you know, she can draw people in."
Well, it was also Jason Bateman.
Right, Jason Bateman. But is Jason Bateman a good draw? Wouldn't really say.
Arrested Development.
Right. So we'll see with this. I don't know if
you guys seen Arrested Development? You guys have watched Arrested Development, right? Okay.
So
thank God.
I don't know if she has the star power herself to bring this in. Now again, we said Susan Sarandon and Kathy Bates, but they're not really advertising them that much.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how this does. Yeah. Moving on from that is also due out later this week, which is Deliver Us from Evil. With this, kind of the opposite of Tammy. The trailers have gotten progressively worse with this.
Yes.
To the point now it's like, I don't know if I want to see this. And again, we're horror fans. We'll go and see anything in horror, but this is something I might just want to skip because, like some of us had mentioned, it looks like it's going to just turn into that cliche possession exorcism film, which it shouldn't be. And I don't like that it's going this route of just being generic. It should be, like we had mentioned, like this virus spreading around New York and these people catching it, and their inner sins,
or the moral
wrongdoings.
depravity of a city. And
that would be really intriguing, but that's not what this is. It looks like it's just going down, possession is spreading amongst people. Okay. And then you have to exorcise them. Whatever. And
exercise them?
Exercise them.
Exercise.
Gotta get them demons out of you. Sweat
Well
one,
done.
too.
Give me 20 laps.
I feel like a really good Exorcist movie would have Richard Simmons in it. No, wrong kind of exercise.
Sweating to the oldies. The real oldies. Next movie we have up is due out in, I think, a week and a half, 2 weeks, which is Earth to Echo, which we just talked about, I think, a couple weeks ago.
Last week?
Maybe. And again, I was actually wishing you had been here for that podcast, Paul, because this is that found footage PG film.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Yeah, it is a little confusing because, again, it's an amalgam of things. It's a little E.T., it's a little Wall-E, it's a little Super 8, surprisingly, and I'm intrigued by it, but also I don't know if I'd pay to see it, just because, again, it's a PG film, and live-action PG 9 times out of 10 will fail.
Well, I think it'll do okay, because it is a summer film, right? So maybe parents will take their kids to see it.
Right,
and
stuff. Other than How to Train Your Dragon, there isn't a whole lot out for kids right now.
We need to go see that.
We need to go see that. Yes, we do. And like we had mentioned, found footage is a relatively cheap genre, except when you throw in special effects, like something that Chronicle did, or something like even like, to a certain extent, District 9 did. So, I don't know how much this cost, but I don't know if they're going to recoup their costs with this, but it looks intriguing, and I think that the child cast who's in here, they seem like decent actors. They're not, they could be just, putting the best lines in there for the trailer, but they all seem like decent actors, and they can carry this movie on their own.
The rest of the scenes are actually them sitting at a table eating paste.
What's that? wait, a scene with them eating paste? Is that what you
said? That's the rest of the movie, them just sitting at a table doing arts and crafts and eating paste. Being yelled at by the director. You suck!
I'd pay for that.
So would I, actually.
And the final one up is...
I want a website of that video.
Just on a loop.
Screw pretty porn. I want to see kids getting yelled at. Sir, what is this a video of? This little 9-year-old getting yelled at. For what? I don't know. Bad grades? I don't care.
I don't know if I want to be associated with this podcast.
And the final one for our feature presentation is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
I can't wait!
I cannot wait for this. Holy crap.
Oh my god, talk about prequels and them sucking. Why is this the exception to every rule? And I can't wait. I fucking hated every single actor in the first movie, and I still left that movie that was the greatest movie I've ever seen.
Yes, absolutely.
Except for Lithgow. I liked Lithgow.
Right. And again, I don't think there's anyone returning for this other than Andy Serkis as Caesar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because years later. Oh, and Oldman's in this movie.
Yeah, Gary Oldman is one of the leaders of the human, we're not resistance, the human survivors. Because there's not too much revealed in here, but there were some humans who were immune to the virus that spread at the end of Rise of the Planet of the Apes. There were some who were left, and basically humanity has just fallen into ruin. And the ones who are left realize, these apes kind of outnumber us 3-1 now. They've bred like rabbits, and they are a threat, And so the humans are like, well, we need to take them out. And some humans are like, well, no, we can be peaceful with these apes. But the apes are like, screw that. You make good slaves, So I don't know where this movie's going to go. I don't know if it's going to go towards the original Planet of the Apes, if it's going to go that route and say, okay, apes take over, or if it's going to be, the amalgam where it's they find peace at the end. We don't know what they're going to do with this, because it's a whole reboot now.
I think it'll go towards the Planet of the Apes, but I think that there's not much you can do after this.
Right.
Because after this, you're at the Planet of the Apes.
Right. At which point you just have to remake that film, which admittedly could be cool, but
mean,
I don't know who you'd get, to recast Charlton Heston or, that original cast and start retelling that story.
Didn't they do a remake with Mark Wahlberg? Yeah, and Helena Bonham Carter.
And that was an awful, awful film.
I liked that.
Nothing with Marky Mark is ever awful.
Yeah.
Haven't you seen Transformers 4?
Haven't you seen The Happening?
I think I might have. Probably awful.
Oh, God.
That would have made a better book.
What, The Happening?
I didn't see it.
No.
The concept is really fucking cool and really scary. It's really just hard to convey that story.
And also hard to take direction from M. Night Shyamalan.
Right, that's why I said book.
Whatever you know about acting, forget.
Right. That's basically what he tells his actors. Okay, flatter. Okay, cut, flatter. We're going to cut, flatter.
I was going to say, yeah, that was the whole fucking Last Airbender was just one emotion.
Absolutely.
One
yeah.
depressing
Don't
emotion.
show emotion. Nothing here. Just go flat. But anyway, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Can't wait to see it.
Can't wait.
That is. We'll probably do a review for that because I'm really looking forward to that. And the previews have just gotten better for that. Kim directed me to a TV spot the other day of this one monkey. Or not monkey. It's an
racist.
ape. Sorry. Yeah, racist. They don't like being called monkeys. This one ape going down this tunnel where it's like a human barricade or something, and there's these two guys there, and the ape's just kind of like palling around, and he's like tossing cans, and he's kind of like.
Oh, and he grabs the fruit.
Yeah,
or whatever.
And he's trying to be friendly with the humans, and the humans are like, oh, well, maybe this is one of the good apes, And he grabs some booze and tries to drink it and spits it out, and the humans are just laughing at him. So the monkey goes around, grabs a gun and is, tossing it in the air and having fun with it, until he grabs the gun and just blows the humans away. It's like, holy shit!
Rambo.
Damn! And I think, I could be wrong, do you remember the ape with the scar on his face from the first movie?
Not specifically.
Okay, well, it was one of the really evil monkeys or apes. It wasn't Caesar, but it was one of the ones that were in the lab that was just a really nasty one. And Caesar told him kill off that last guy at the end. It's just a sinister one. I think it's him. So it's really just the real asshole of the apes who goes in there just kind of pounding around and just grabs the gun and just blows the humans away.
I know. Right?
and that scene is damn, that's a rough scene, but that's so good, And I can't wait to see that. So I can't wait to see that. That might be something we see opening day.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Oh, Jesus, I just pooped in my pants.
I was scared by your reaction. I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
And Confucius 2.0 just walked in for the very end of our podcast.
Oh, God, I'm getting a heart attack.
Well, guess I'm here to change the diaper.
Thank you for joining us, sir, but we're just ending. Sorry about that.
You can say bye.
Yeah, you can say bye. Grab Karen's mic and say bye real quick.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. So I want to thank the Wonder Twins for coming by.
Are you good at karaoke?
Oh my God.
Get him! Ow! It's just like at the beach. Robin, it's just like at the beach.
Okay.
Do it.
So I want to thank the Wonder Twins for coming by.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, I thought we were going to do the Wonder Twins again.
Oh,
One, two, three.
The
The Wonder Twins!
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was kind of...
My leg hurts now.
I want to thank 3-Star Sapphire for coming by.
Bye.
I want to thank the Goddess of Gore for coming by.
Yep.
She fucking lives here. Where's she gonna go? Next door? Home?
Never know.
That's where I came from.
Where are you really from?
Just have to go next door to change up.
And I once again am the Projectionist. Again, for all of you on Podomatic, thank you for tuning in. For those of you on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. And again, check out our other channels.
And remember to submit your questions.
Yes, submit your questions.
The best question.
We'll get you on Skype. We'll have you on. We'll have you on an episode, and we'll talk to you live. And next time you hear us, it'll probably be the 1-year anniversary. So thanks again for staying with us, guys. Have a good night, and take care.
Bye.
Bye.